Unleashing your inner superhero, the power of authentic self belief. Welcome, fellow dreamers and doers, to a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about success, identity, and the untapped potential lying dormant within you. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into the transformative wisdom of Erika Barnes, a true titan of authenticity and self empowerment. Before we begin, let me paint a picture of Erika for those who might not be familiar with her extraordinary impact. Erika Barnes isn't just a success story, she's a force of nature, a beacon of hope for countless individuals struggling to find their place in this chaotic world. From humble beginnings, she's built an empire of inspiration, touching lives across the globe with her unwavering commitment to authenticity and personal growth. Her programs have helped thousands break free from the shackles of self doubt, and her philanthropic efforts have created ripples of positive change in communities far and wide. But what truly sets Erika apart is her relentless pursuit of truth, not just any truth, but the profound, sometimes uncomfortable truth about who we really are and what we're capable of achieving. Now, buckle up, because the insights I'm about to share from my conversation with Erika aren't just thought provoking, they're potentially life altering. And fair warning, if you're comfortable with mediocrity or playing small, you might want to cover your ears. Because once you hear what Erika has to say, you'll never be able to unsee the superhero lurking within you. Let's start with a question that might make you squirm in your seat. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and truly, madly, deeply believed in the person staring back at you? And I'm not talking about a fleeting moment of confidence after a good hair day. I mean a bone deep, unshakable conviction in your worth, your potential, and your ability to leave an indelible mark on this world. If you're struggling to remember such a moment, you're not alone. In fact, you're part of a silent epidemic of self doubt that's sweeping across our society like a virus. But here's the kicker: this virus isn't something that happened to us, it's something we've allowed to infect us. One small compromise, one ignored dream, one who am I to think I could at a time. Erika shared a story from her childhood that perfectly encapsulates the antidote to this epidemic. Picture a young girl, wide eyed and full of dreams, sitting at her grandmother's worn kitchen table. The air is thick with the scent of freshly baked cookies and wisdom that's been marinating for generations. This girl, you've probably guessed by now that it's Erika, is pouring out her heart, sharing her fears about not being good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough to pursue her wildest ambitions. Her grandmother, a woman who had seen more than her fair share of life's ups and downs, looks at her with eyes that seem to pierce straight into her soul. And then, with the gravity of someone imparting the secret to life itself, she says, Erika, my dear, you are destined for greatness. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. And most importantly, don't ever forget who you are. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Great story, but what does it have to do with me? I didn't have a wise old grandmother dropping pearls of wisdom in my lap. But here's the thing, and this is crucial, so listen up. That grandmother's voice, it's in all of us. It's that quiet whisper of truth that gets drowned out by the cacophony of doubt, fear, and societal expectations. Our job, no, our responsibility is to turn up the volume on that voice until it's louder than any other. Erica's journey teaches us that success isn't about conforming to others' expectations or contorting ourselves to fit into predefined boxes. It's about having the audacity to be unapologetically, uncompromisingly you. It's about looking the world straight in the eye and saying, this is who I am, take it or leave it, but I'm not changing for anyone. Now, I can almost hear the skeptics among you shifting uncomfortably. That's all well and good, you might be thinking. But in the real world, we have to make compromises. We have bills to pay, responsibilities to meet. And you're right to a point. But here's where Erica's wisdom really hits home. Compromising on the essentials of who you are isn't a strategy for success. It's a recipe for a life of quiet desperation. Let me share another powerful anecdote from our conversation. Erica told me about a time when she was on the verge of giving up on her dreams. She had faced rejection after rejection, and the voices of doubt, both external and internal, were reaching a deafening crescendo. She was this close to throwing in the towel, to accepting a life of mediocrity disguised as practicality. But then, in a moment of clarity that can only be described as divine intervention, she remembered her grandmother's words. She looked deep within herself and reconnected with the fire that had always burned inside her. And in that moment, she made a decision that would alter the course of her life and the lives of countless others. She decided to bet on herself, not just in a let's give it one more try kind of way, but in an all chips on the table, burn the boats, there's no plan B kind of way. She realized that her setbacks weren't failures. They were the universe's way of redirecting her to her true path. She understood that staying true to herself didn't mean avoiding challenges. It meant facing them head on, armed with the unshakable knowledge of her own worth and potential. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking that that's easier said than done. And you're absolutely right. Believing in yourself, especially when the odds seem stacked against you, is no walk in the park. It's more like a trek up Mount Everest in flip flops. But here's the thing, it's the most important work you'll ever do. Erika's story reminds us that self belief isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's a daily practice of reminding yourself of your worth, your abilities, and your dreams. It's about building a relationship with yourself that's strong enough to weather any storm, be it a professional setback, a personal loss, or the soul crushing weight of societal expectations. So, how do we put this into practice? How do we ensure that we never forget who we are, even when the world seems hell bent on making us forget? Erika shared 3 powerful strategies that have helped her stay true to herself throughout her journey. And I'm going to break them down for you, no holds barred. First up, create a personal mission statement. Now, before you roll your eyes and dismiss this as some corporate mumbo jumbo, hear me out. This isn't about crafting a perfectly polished sentence that sounds good on paper. This is about digging deep into the core of who you are and what you stand for. It's about identifying the values that drive you, the impact you want to have on the world, and the legacy you want to leave behind. Erika's mission statement is deceptively simple: to live authentically and inspire others to do the same. But don't let its simplicity fool you. Those 11 words are the result of years of self reflection, hard won wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to truth. They serve as her North Star, guiding every decision she makes, every opportunity she pursues, and every interaction she has. So, what's your mission statement? What's the core truth that defines who you are and what you're here to do? Take a moment right now. Yes, right now, to jot down some ideas. Don't worry about making it perfect. This is a living document, one that will evolve as you grow and change. The important thing is to start. Strategy number 2: surround yourself with people who believe in you. And I'm not talking about yes men who stroke your ego and tell you what you want to hear. I'm talking about the kind of people who see your potential even when you can't, who will call you out on your BS when you're not living up to your own standards, and who will celebrate your victories as if they were their own. Erika emphasized that this isn't just about friendship, it's about creating an ecosystem of growth and support. These are the people who will remind you of your greatness when you forget, who will push you to reach higher when you settle, and who will stand by you even when you stumble. Now, here's the hard truth: this might mean letting go of some relationships that no longer serve you. It might mean distancing yourself from the naysayers, the dream killers, and the perpetually pessimistic. And yes, that can be painful. But remember, you're not just choosing your friends, you're choosing the future you're going to live into. And finally, strategy number 3: practice self reflection. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. Erika sets aside time each day to check in with herself. She asks questions like: am I staying true to my values? Am I pursuing my passions? Am I making choices that align with who I truly am? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy hustling, grinding, trying to make ends meet. But here's the thing: if you don't make time for self reflection, you'll end up living someone else's life. You'll wake up one day, look in the mirror, and wonder who the hell that person staring back at you is. So start small, set aside 5 minutes each day. Yes, just 5 minutes to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, what did I do today that made me proud? What could I have done better? Am I moving closer to my goals, or am I letting fear hold me back? This regular self check will help you stay on track and make course corrections when needed. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. That this all sounds great, but what about when life gets tough? What about when we face failure or rejection? Well, let me tell you, that's when remembering who you are becomes more important than ever. Erika shared a powerful insight about failure that I want you to tattoo on your brain. She said, failure isn't a reflection of who you are, it's an event that happens to you. Your response to failure, however, is a choice that defines you. Let that sink in for a moment. How often do we let our failures define us rather than seeing them as opportunities for growth? When you stay connected to your true self, you develop a resilience that can withstand any setback. You understand that your worth isn't determined by external successes or failures, but by the strength of your character and the authenticity of your actions. Erika's journey teaches us that success isn't just about achieving goals, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about waking up each day and choosing to be true to who you are, regardless of the challenges you face. So here's my challenge to you. And yes, I'm looking at you, the one who's been nodding along, but secretly thinking, this doesn't apply to me. Son, take a moment right now to reflect on who you truly are. What are your passions? What are your values? What dreams have you pushed aside because you thought they were too big or too impossible? Now, imagine what your life could look like if you fully embrace those aspects of yourself. Imagine the impact you could have if you lived each day with the unwavering belief in your own potential. That's the power of never forgetting who you are. But let's be real for a moment. This journey of self discovery and self belief isn't always smooth sailing. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when the world seems to be conspiring against you, when it feels easier to conform than to stand out. And that's okay, that's part of the process. Erika shared a particularly vulnerable moment from her own journey that I think will resonate with many of you. She told me about a time when she was offered a high paying job that seemed perfect on paper. It came with prestige, financial security, and all the trappings of success. But deep down, she knew it wasn't aligned with her true passions and values. The decision to turn down that job was one of the hardest she's ever made. She faced criticism from friends and family who thought she was making a huge mistake. For a while, she even doubted herself. But in the end, she chose to stay true to who she was and what she believed in. That decision, as difficult as it was, led her down a path that ultimately brought her more fulfillment and success than she could have imagined. It taught her an invaluable lesson. When you honor your true self, even in the face of adversity, the universe has a way of opening doors you never knew existed. This story illustrates a crucial point. Staying true to yourself isn't always the easy choice, but it's always the right choice. It requires courage, conviction, and sometimes a willingness to stand alone. But the rewards, the sense of authenticity, the deep fulfillment, the ability to make a genuine impact are immeasurable. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when we talk about self belief and staying true to ourselves. Some people worry that this focus on self might lead to selfishness or narcissism, but nothing could be further from the truth. Erika emphasized that truly knowing and embracing who you are actually makes you more empathetic, more connected to others, and more capable of making a positive impact on the world. When you're secure in your own identity, you don't need to tear others down to build yourself up. Instead, you can lift others as you rise. Think about it this way. When you're on an airplane, the safety instructions always tell you to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. The same principle applies here. By taking care of your own personal growth and staying true to yourself, you become better equipped to help and inspire those around you. Erika's work is a perfect example of this. By embracing her authentic self and pursuing her passions, she's been able to create programs and initiatives that have helped countless others discover their own potential. Her journey of self discovery became a catalyst for positive change in her community and beyond. So, as we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge that might just change the course of your life. For the next week, I want you to start each day by asking yourself this question: how can I stay true to who I am today? It might be in small ways, like speaking up for something you believe in during a meeting, or it might be in bigger ways, like taking a step toward that dream you've been putting off. Remember, every time you choose to honor your true self, you're not just changing your own life. You're setting an example that can inspire others to do the same. You are contributing to a world where authenticity is valued, where individuality is celebrated, and where each person's unique gifts are recognized and nurtured. Erika's parting words in our conversation were powerful, and I want to share them with you as a call to action. Your uniqueness is your superpower. Don't ever forget who you are, because who you are is exactly who the world needs. So let me ask you one final question, and I want you to really sit with this. Who are you really? And what would your life in the world look like if you fully embrace that person. It's time to stop playing small. It's time to silence the voices of doubt, both external and internal. It's time to step into your power and show the world who you really are. Because here's the truth: the world doesn't need another cookie cutter success story. The world needs you, the real you, the authentic you, the you that you've been hiding for far too long. So go forth and be unapologetically, uncompromisingly you. Embrace your quirks, your passions, your wild dreams. Let your light shine so brightly that it illuminates the path for others. Remember who you are. And in doing so, you'll not only transform your own life, but also leave an indelible mark on the world. The journey won't be easy. There will be setbacks, doubts, and moments when you'll be tempted to conform. But in those moments, I want you to remember Erika's story. I want you to remember that staying true to yourself is the greatest act of courage you can perform. You have a choice to make right here, right now. Will you continue to live a life dictated by others' expectations? Or will you have the audacity to be yourself, to pursue your dreams, and to make the impact only you can make? The world is waiting for your unique contribution. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Embrace who you are. Step into your power and show us what you're truly capable of. Because when you do, you won't just change your life, you'll change the world. Remember, you are destined for greatness. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. And most importantly, don't ever forget who you are. Now go out there and show the world the superhero that's been hiding inside you all along. The stage is yours. It's time to shine.